is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to go Liverpool.
Yes, welcome to another episode of the Anfield South podcast. It's me, your boy Slim, with his head hanging low again. How many times this season am I going to have to intro the podcast like this? But on a brighter note, I have to smile because joining us today for the podcast is Leicester, Birmingham, Villa, and most importantly, Liverpool legend, Emile Heskey. How you doing, sir?
I'm very good. Yourselves?
Ooh. Yeah. I'm happy to be speaking to you, but I'm a bit disappointed with the result. Let me not do my boys a disservice and not introduce them. Bajan Bruce, looking sharp as a tack. Professor Paul, fresh from his TalkSport experience.
Fresh baldy.
And guys, of course, my right hand man, the guy the pod would not be possible without. Engineer Sam, how you doing, brother?
Alright, man. Is it mad coincidence that we all got fresh trims today? Like, what's happening?
No, my missus did my trim.
Yeah, true, for real.
Listen, I just want to start off by Emile played for Liverpool between 2000 and 2004. Had an excellent career. Played under the late great Gerard Houllier. I wanted to ask you, what was it like playing under Houllier at that time? What kind of manager?
Do you know what? He was a school teacher before he actually came into the coaching realm and managing realm. So he's got an understanding of people, and he was great for me. Again, took me under his wings, taught me a lot. I went from playing at Leicester where it was more about ourselves and what we did and less about them. Let's go and attack this way and this is how we play. Not so much on tactics, or definitely not so much on the opposition's tactics, etc. And then you're coming into the Liverpool where you're literally everything. You know, you go into a game, you don't know anything about, you know everything about the opposition. He hasn't left one stone unturned, and it was great. Especially for someone who wants to learn as well. I found it difficult at first because, again, I'd gone from having nothing to suddenly having all this information. Especially like when you're going in, at Leicester, I don't think we really did many meetings, etc. Then going into a meeting that could last over an hour. Yeah, It was tough at first, but then you've got to slowly understand when you're playing a game and you know exactly what they're doing before they're going to do it, and you can nullify that and then go again. So these are the sort of things that he was great at. Man management, I thought he was fantastic. Even down to I've spoken to players that have been under him and didn't necessarily get on with him too well, but now they look back and they're saying, well, to be fair, the stuff that he taught us then is stuff that I'm learning now. Do you know what I mean? So if I'd have listened, I'd have been a bit further ahead. But, you know, you live and you learn with them sort of lessons.
Of course. Do you see any comparisons in the management style and the style of the team today to the team that you played in?
Management style more, he's loved by the players. That sort of stuff. Knowing everyone around the training facility and getting to know everyone. So he knew all my kids, knew all my family, etc. All my friends. And you see that with Jurgen as well. He's got that sort of character that everyone's warmed to him. Playing style, no. I think we were more counter-attacking than them. And I think we were less open. But they're a lot more expansive and a lot more explosive than we were.
Do you think it's important for managers to have that sort of relationship with individual players as opposed to being, say, cold to a Jose Mourinho type manager?
I think the thing is, when you're loved, you know that you're going to give more than when it takes a certain character to be snubbed, to be treated a certain way, but still putting performances for you. But when you're loved, you feel like you have to, and you feel like you have to run through a brick wall for someone. You have to do this for someone. You have to go that extra yard. You have to put your body on the line. Whereas when you're not felt that way, it's kind of okay. You have to be really a certain character to actually still go and do that.
Paul, given what Emile's just said about being loved by your manager, I mean, we all know Jurgen Klopp. He shows so much love to his players. What is missing? Hence the result today. Like, what is missing from our team? Why we're getting results like we got today? I mean, we just finished watching Leicester Liverpool, and obviously everyone knows the score. It was 3-1 to Leicester. What's missing, Paul, man?
Well, I've been told to keep it concise today, so I will say. I think generally, tactically, there's been a few issues, I think, with subs. I think sometimes subs have been rushed, sometimes subs haven't been necessary. Like, again, today, I don't think it was necessary to change the midfield. I think Curtis Jones helped us keep possession of the ball, and I think once he came off, everything started going backwards. And I felt the same against City as well. The press was easier for City to do once Jones came off because he's adept to controlling the ball and turning on the ball, and then he beat the press that way. But obviously, generally, I'm not the first to say it. Everyone knows that we've had all the injuries. We've had COVID, players with COVID, and maybe the most sort of philosophical aspect is we won the league. We won the league, we're going through a pandemic, and there's something missing. That little, well, we've got Emile here today. It could be 0.0001%, and that's enough to not get your stud on that ball to get that finish or be brave in a 50-50. And generally, that's where we're at. And I'm honestly not sure what we're going to do.
I think it's the finer details, isn't it? Like you're saying, them finer details make the difference when you're at that top level. You're talking about top four. Yes, we're talking about Leicester. So when you're talking about the name Leicester, you're probably thinking, nah, they shouldn't be in top four. But when you're looking at the progression they've made over the years with a manager that we all know that has taken teams to another level every time he's been in. We can go to Reading and see that he's done that. We can go to Swansea and see that he's done it there. You can go to Liverpool and yes, he didn't quite make it, but I still felt that there was a step forward when he was there. You can then go to Celtic and see the exact same there. He's absolutely loved up there. The only thing that they would have loved is for him to stay for that, was it the treble, and then leave. But now he's come to Leicester and you can see the leaps and bounds that he's come. And it's them finer details. And like you're saying, I think today's game, I think they were well in control. I didn't see... The only thing that I saw with Leicester where they were going to really make a difference is that long ball over the back when it came to Vardy, and I felt that 100%. They were controlling that up to a point, and then suddenly, at times you've got to know the game and you've got to be able to see what's going on in their game. When you have your two fullbacks flying high and you've got such a quick guy running in behind you, you can't do that, especially if you have not got central defenders there. You've got a midfielder and a young lad. This is his debut. Now, I'm trying to think which goal it was.
I think it was the third. No,
was it the second goal when?
That was the second goal was the second goal was the mix-up. Yeah, the second goal.
And
was
I think Robertson's near the halfway line. Trent is kind of tucked in, but not really tucked in. And it's a simple ball through. I think it might have been the third goal actually. I think it would have been the third goal.
It might have been
but they don't sense the danger though. For me, they don't sense that.
Okay, but what I think is key to that goal though is the fact that when we're in possession, we have so much confidence of each other on the ball that we don't expect Mo Salah to play a flat pass across the middle of the park and it be intercepted. You've got to admit that pass from Salah was
100%. But again, that's going to happen. Not every pass is going to be perfect. So I think that because Robertson's so high up, I think Trent's got to be in to make it a 3. You can't be 2v2. So you've got to be tucked in, and I think as well, this is talking, communication, this is all sorts. If you're so high, I've seen it with loads of teams. I see it with Leicester. I think it was last season got against Wolves. They got back to 2-2. Yeah, they got back to 2-2, and the fullbacks and it's 90th minute. The fullbacks are still high. What do you need to? What are you doing that for? Go on.
Well, Bajan Bruce, I would say the fullbacks being high, especially at 1-1, is something you always see from us when we play, right? Hence, it's 1-1, trying to get back in the game, or is it 2-1 or whatever? It's trying to get back in the game, so it's risk and reward, isn't it, Bajan Bruce?
Yeah, I mean, at 2-1, obviously, you're now you're chasing it now. It's that time in the game, isn't it? But I think what Emile said that I picked up on was the fact that with that pass from Salah, which is poor, at that point where it is, you should be able to recover, but it's just mad. We're just open. It's just like open season. I just felt the whole team's head. Once that goal goes in, once that calamity happens at 2-1, the heads are completely gone at that stage. And it doesn't surprise me when the third goal goes in, because I just feel that you feel the energy. It's mad. I really thought they were going to give the boss a game today. They were going to go out there and leave it all out on the field, but oh man, we need to get on this Tiago shout. I want to know what Emile's thinks on Tiago, bro.
Go on, sorry.
Sorry to cut you, Leroy.
Go on.
Do you know you mentioned that before heads were gone after the calamity? For me, it was after the Maddison goal. I think there was so much of a delay,
1-1.
and we were sure that it was going to be offside. From our pictures, it looks offside. Obviously, VAR, we don't want to talk about that. But for me, at that point, and I saw Jurgen's reaction, for me, players can feed off that. And he was having that grimace, that grin, that, oh my God, it's happened again. I don't believe this crap. And it's like, that transmits to the players as well. And for me, that's when their heads dropped. And then after that, we just collapsed.
I've got a little bit of an irony thing here as well, guys. We've been talking a lot about how Henderson's been missing and Fabinho's been missing in the 6, so Trent and Robinson go up but they're not being covered. And Tiago didn't start today because it looked like maybe his legs, not quite there. He actually did cover. So for the Maddison free kick, he actually got there at last, and you think, okay, he's helping Trent. Do you remember? They actually blocked it, and then the tackle was
we have to discuss Tiago and this number 6 role. Like I said before last week on the last pod, Emile, I said I'm quite ignorant. I only like to watch the Premier League, so I don't really watch European football. I know who Tiago is, but I've never seen him play. So I'm watching this guy with fresh eyes. He comes with this whole reputation. Okay, all right, show me. Plays a half at Chelsea, looks good, but it's only a half and we're winning. Eventually he gets games, gets injured, all right, fine. Comes back in, starts to look the part, and then for me, he just starts to pedal backwards. And his tackling is awful. I mean, I say Paul Scholes is the worst tackler I've ever seen, yeah? I think this guy might be rivaling him for the title because it's I mean, you do all that hard as a player, Emile, and you do all that hard work getting back into a defensive shape, and then one of your teammates come back with a tackle like that in such a dangerous area. How do you react to something like that?
The funny thing is, you're talking little inches, and they're so quick. Some of these players, 1 minute you see the ball there, and then next minute you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to smash him because I want to leave a little bit on him, and then it's gone. They're so quick, and he's got to get up to speed. You've got to remember where he's played. So he's played in Spain, where you're going to have plenty of time on the ball, and then he's played in Germany, where you're at the best team who everyone fears anyway. So you're going to have more time on the ball. Now you're playing in the Premier League, where bottom can beat top if you're not prepared for it. Whereas in the other leagues, they don't really challenge like that. They're all sitting off and just trying to nick points, and then they try and beat the teams around them. Whereas when I was playing, we're trying to nick teams from everyone. I mean, nick points from everyone. So you got to be ready. And we always play on these sort of things as well. So I think he just needs to. He obviously needs to settle in and move in things quicker. I think he's better in a number 10 or an 8 role, with a more defensive minded. Defending holding midfielder who understands a Didi Hamann who understands that, just mops everything up there, and he doesn't have to do anything. It's like he just wins it and plays it to someone else to go and play. That's my job done.
Emile, we've got a problem there then, because Tiago is playing mostly in an 8. We all moaned about the 6, so he's playing 8. We got it was Ronaldo still at 1-1 or 1-0. So you got Ronaldo, you got Jones to his left, Tiago to his right. Then Jones came off, and Ox came on to the left. And in a Klopp midfield, your number 8 still have to cover the fullbacks. So he's either we're gonna have
But
to put him at
the
number
thing for me-
10 because he's
Yeah, the thing for me is with the number 10,
didn't he?
I quite like Jones because, again, I like the way that his first thought is going forward. So on the half turn, bang, and then go play forward. So I like a number 10 to be doing that. So I think the 8 role's great for him, and I think he's got legs, Jones, to really create. Again, this is the thing, we worry too much about positions at times and not worrying about someone actually doing graft, hard work, get up and down. Whereas number 10, you're kind of a luxury. You don't have to get box to box. Whereas midfielders, when we're talking proper midfielders, getting box to box tackles, then you see one midfielder tackling in his own box. Next minute, he's run up the field and he's trying to score a header or something. We're missing that at times, and this hard graft, I think we need to get back to.
No, 100% I do, but I still stick by my notion that Tiago in the 6 can't work, and you just confirmed it for me. I think having Fabinho get his injury at this moment in time has just KO'd us again, because I mean, if you have Fabinho fit and ready, you can play him in the 6, and I guess we all feel better, and he's not making tackles on the edge of the box. I mean, that's just, yeah. For me as a fan, it's unforgivable, because I'd much rather you let him go and he does a weldy, scores top corner. Fine, fair enough, nothing to do about it. We gave them the opportunity to whip a ball in. I think that was like their 3rd or 4th free kick in a dangerous position, and we paid for it. I mean, we have to go to before that, because I mean, the game as a whole in the first half, Sam, we kind of dominated the game, but without really doing much. So it was a bit of a weird first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, as I said to you, went to the phone at half time. It was a strange half where I was happy and I was enjoying watching Liverpool, but we didn't have any threat. But I was still enjoying the game because we were so much in control. It almost just felt like it was a matter of time. And if we continued in that vein, the goal was going to come. My issue was the fact that I didn't see where the goal was coming from, because Mane was getting doubled up on, and it seemed like the only option we had was the diagonal ball that Henderson could have flipped over for Mane, or more often than not, for Salah to run into. It didn't come from that. It came from an amazing piece of skill from Bobby, which we know he's got his locker. But the first half confused me a lot, because it felt like our old Liverpool just without the threat of the front three. And then to continue that and to get the goal and to actually think, okay, we're going to build on this, and for the complete opposite to happen, I'm still at a loss. You know, I just don't know what happened, and I'm struggling to engage with the team right now.
It's crazy. I don't want to brush over that goal, because that goal was a thing of class, a thing of brilliance, and it just reminded me how good we can be. I think the threat from Salah was always there all game, with Ricardo playing at left back, who I don't think gets much game time at the minute. I thought that was always going to be our way in. I think what's the fella that was at right back? I forget his name.
Amati.
Justin.
Yeah, Amati. I think Amati, for someone who doesn't play in that position, I think he was excellent. I think he was strong. I think when you play against Mane, you have to be strong, and you have to stand up and not dive in, because he will just have you running all over the shop. And I thought he was quite good, and he fared well against Mane. But yeah, Ricardo, I just looked at him and I just said, yes, if Salah's on his game, he's got you. And then obviously, yeah, he loses Salah for the goal, and what a touch from Bobby. I mean, we need to see more of that, don't we, from Bobby Firmino? Just that Brazilian magic, don't we, Bajan Bruce?
Yeah, man, it was nice what he done there, man. Really, really nice. But he's coming in, he comes and goes in stages in the game, man. You just need more from him. His performances have just dropped off, like, majorly, like, you know. You just need more of the effort. You know what? It's just a press from the front three even as well. It's just like, it's not there. I don't know if that's, as I say, it's a factor from how our midfield's changed. But obviously, when you got them pushing, you got the midfield pushing. It's different, isn't it? But yeah, man, he has dropped off. It'd be nice to get once Jota's back in the mix, to see how it stirs things up there. You know what I mean? I want to see that stir things up a little bit. See if he gets himself in gear.
I think that's what's been missing a lot for the most part of the season, is that competition for the front three. I mean, when Jota was about, you could see everybody's game had stepped up, and I think today is a prime example. Having possession and not really looking threatening. I think if you know someone's on the bench and the boss is willing to throw him in, that gives you that extra 10%. And again, obviously we've got Emile here, so he played as a striker and he played with other people behind him. I mean, what's it like when you know you've got someone on the bench, Emile, who can just come in and take your spot, basically?
Competition is great for clubs because again it puts everyone on their toes. It makes everyone understand that they are replaceable. And it could be for good, it could be for bad, but it makes you make sure that you're on the top of your game. If you know you're going to be playing every week in, week out, you've got to be of a certain character to really keep pushing yourself. I think Bobby, it was great what Jurgen did, and I think I did speak to someone else about it, that it was probably good that they brought him out of the firing line for a little while, let him get focused again, let him work on his game, and then put him back in, because again, I don't think it ticks without him properly, especially when it comes to the press. When you look at the press, it's him first and then everyone else working off him, and it works so well when he does it effectively. But if he's not on his game, it doesn't work too well. But going about what you said before, I thought they would have attacked more down the right hand side, because Barnes doesn't track back well, but Brighton does.
Yeah.
So I thought they would have attacked more down the right hand side and penetrated that, because Harvey Barnes going forward, he's frightening, but he doesn't want to go back. Yeah. So I'd have thought they would have tried to push him back a little bit more, but they didn't utilise that well.
We definitely missed a trick down that side today, I think. And also, Johnny Evans sticks a leg out when Mane's dancing through and injures what looks like his calf to me. Were there ever times when you were playing, Emile, and the manager said to you, right, he's got 100%. Yellow, he's feeling his hamstring?
But you got to do that as a player.
Today.
If I've pulled onto one of the defenders and I know I've got the beating of you, I'm pulling onto you 24/7. That's for you to keep changing with that defender, and I'm still going to follow you because I know I've got the beating of you. But again, like you're saying, if I've got you booked, and I know that I'm going to entice you into another challenge, and I'm going to try and nick it away from you. I'm going to be doing all the different tricks that I know. But I don't know if the new generation kind of understand that, where you try. These are all gamesmanship that we don't understand.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask Engineer Sam. Do you think we lack a bit of gamesmanship at times, Sam?
Yeah. I think we mentioned this probably a season or so ago, when we just don't have many evil, wicked players. Like to be frank, we used to have Emre Can, who had a bit of devil in him, but we don't really have many of those. We have Milner, he will take someone out when necessary. We've got a few petulant players who can kick out if necessary, but it's very rare. But how often do you see us drag someone back? How often do you see us really go at someone who's on a yellow card? We've won the Fair Play Award, I think, for the past 4 seasons. We're just not nasty. And sometimes I think we need to have that to our game, because we need every little edge we can get at the moment. And without cheating, I think we need to bring it into what we're doing.
Again, I don't think this is, like I said, gamesmanship. People might call it cheating or whatever they want to call it, but again, it's just gamesmanship. This is understanding the game and trying to win the game. You do what you can to win the game. And a lot of people might say, "Oh no, you shouldn't be trying to get anyone sent off." No, I'm not trying to get him sent off. I'm trying to win the game. I'm trying to pull onto him because he's having a bad day. So I'm trying to make his day even worse.
Yeah.
Go on.
Slim, can I add something from when you said about the right hand side? This is something I've noticed in the last 6 or 7 months, and new fans, obviously we've got Emile Heskey today, so hopefully he'll be listening. We're not like this all the time. We're not just moaning. We just love football. We just like analysing it. We're armchair fans. I think we're lacking a little bit of end product, a little bit of talent at the moment as well. Like for the talent Salah and Mane possess, I see them dispossessed a lot more than comparable wingers. I'm not sure if anyone's noticed that. And then they might get in. I think Mane got to the bar line a few times, and his pullback is always kind of aimless. And I just think we're missing that individual bit of skill where once you beat one man, it's a whole new world, isn't it? You've got big space, and I think we're getting dispossessed too easy. I saw Salah run away today with the ball, and he's just booted the ball 20 yards ahead of him. And then he sort of done that hop and skip. He's angry with himself.
You know what,
I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. It's not so much they get dispossessed. Their touches are very heavy of late. They lose possession of the ball as opposed to someone taking it off them. Do you know what, Paul? We've been going for this is the fourth season we've been going at such a high level, yeah. And Emile said it before. This is the Premier League, and this is top four. Like, the levels are high, and like you said already, it's that little 0.1. So any sort of hint of tiredness is going to show on the pitch. So maybe that's the case, because the touches are just wow.
Can I just say as well that a lot of teams will step their game up when they're playing against the best. Amate, he had a great game today. Will he have another game like that? We don't know. He might not even play again. You know what I mean? So this is no disrespect to him, but again, they've got a squad that they could possibly bring him out and take him in. But he's shown that he should play again. But will he play that same way against, I don't know, Southampton, against Theo Walcott? Possibly not. They want the play when you're playing against the best. You want to showcase yourself. You want to put yourself in the window. You want to be the best. You don't want them to get. You want to say, oh, is he that quick? When he knocks it past you, can you get your body in and make it a bit more of a longer run round the back for him? Little things like that.
And there's the kudos you get 100%. From your friends as well after the game. Oh yeah, you had Salah money in your pocket, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I get it, but I think that's when, as a top level footballer, you have to know this and then be a bit more cute, a bit more game management, like a bit more nasty, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you have to do to get around that player and get the better of that player, you have to do. And I just feel like our front three at the minute, they're not doing that. Bruce,
do you know, I wanted to just add to something to this, yeah. I just felt like in the first half, this is a good and bad of Mo, I find at times, yeah. It was a simple ball over the top. I think it's from Henderson, and that touch he has, yeah. If he just hits that and he comes in this way, he's goal bound at that point, I think. But the touch is what kills him. And sometimes you either get a fantastic touch from him, like against West Ham, or you get that. It's like hit and miss with our forwards. Now, last season, that could have happened, and we'd be like, we'll get another 3-4 chances anyway. But we're not getting that many chances now. So that's where I feel our forwards have to be more clinical. That's where we're noticing some of these differences, like, you know what I mean? I mean, I've been saying from before, 97 points one season, 99 the next where we win it. In between those 2 seasons, we've had, 4 losses in 2 seasons. We're at 4 now. But in saying that, this is a team that's got a whole heap of injuries. We should be further down the table, really, but the bus is things. But you were going to ask me something anyway.
Yeah, I lost it.
I had to get that in. I had to get that in because that Mo. I know you love Mo, yeah, but I don't know, man. Sometimes, man.
I love Mo.
Listen,
Mo gets goals, but
no one can say a bad word about Mo to me because I feel he doesn't get the respect that he deserves, and people need to put some respect on his name. 4 seasons, 20 goals. Like, come on, man. Like, it's not every day. Not every game he's gonna have a perfect touch or do what we expect that he should do. There's gonna be moments where things don't quite happen. And again, we've got a striker here. You know, when things are going the way they're going for Liverpool at the moment, how do you get yourself out of this slump? What is it you think they have to do?
Again, it's about one. It's the manager to take all the pressure off them to go out there and express themselves, and I think he has done that. To be honest with you, because I don't see with the way that they're playing, I don't see them showing too much pressure. But they've got to go out there and be a little bit more clinical, like you said. But again, when we're talking about Mo Salah. The season, I think, what was it, 3 seasons ago or whatever it was, when he scored 40 goals. You know, he could have had 50 that season. Yeah. So it's not something that we're surprised at or anything like that. It's just Mo Salah. He creates a lot of chances. Yes, he will score you loads, but he'll miss a few as well. I think we need to focus on the ones that he's scoring rather than the ones that he's missing. And as well, I think the fact that he gets very greedy at times, that's why we focus on that as well. because again, there's certain.
Do you know how many times we've had that debate on here? Though? Sorry to cut you. Like, I can't stand it when the boys go, "Oh, he's greedy."
You need that though. You need that.
Like,
you need that because again,
Thank you.
You take that away from him. It's like I'll bring up Wayne Rooney. When Wayne Rooney was at his best is when he was angry. When everyone started talking about he has anger problems and he needs to go counselling and all that, you started to take a little bit of Wayne Rooney away from him. And then you see, well, that's not what I want. You want the angry man to get back again.
That fire in his belly. Yeah.
All right. Slim in the mill. Can I defend the greedy Salah complaints then? We're not saying that it's greedy and it's just a detriment. We're actually saying, or a shout out to Chris Hills, I noticed that when he scored that 44 goals, he actually played a lot more with his teammates. Everything was quicker. There was more 1-2s. Even if he wiggled into the box, there'll be a little bit of deflection. And I feel, even though he's still magnificent and I love him, there's been less goals perhaps because it's been individual. It's been sort of he's going direct. Sometimes he shoots at players when the defender's in the way and he just shoots straight at them anyway. He thinks maybe it's going to go through their tummy.
He's got that power though. He's got that power.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be laughing because you've seen that happen. Do you know what I mean? And I just think in the first season when we had the Mane, Salah, it was like the 3 degrees. It was like some sort of magic act, and there was a lot of interplay. And the more interplay you do around the box, the more chances force you. In my opinion.
Emile, you played with probably one of Liverpool's deadliest, potent strikers in Michael Owen. When he had the ball in certain positions and could see the whites of the keeper's eyes and the goalposts, did you expect a pass from him? Simple. So why is Mo Salah any different?
Go on.
I'll argue back again. Because Owen would always be in certain positions. We're talking about Owen going through and goal, and maybe you ask him to do a little sweaty, like slide it to your left for an open goal. I'm talking about Mo Salah on the corner of the edge of the box.
He's capable. He's capable. He's capable from there.
Of course he is. No, I understand he is capable. I'm just saying that I would prefer if he increased 10 to 15% more interplay. We spoke about before, his relationship with Trent has gone down a lot. If you compare Mane's little no-look flick to Robertson, and that opens up another gap. Occasionally, Salah will ignore Trent's run and look to swing it in straight to. Anyway, again, this is just. I'm in despair, man. I'm just looking for solutions. I love Mo Salah. That is a fact.
Hey, listen, brother, it's okay. We're all feeling the pain today after today's results, so don't worry, man. Let it out, man. This is the space, man. You're safe. It's okay.
Do you know what?
Go on.
This is like Emile. Like obviously, you were someone when I played ball, was someone I looked up to as a footballer. I find what we're missing is when the ball comes up, it needs to stick. Yeah. So that man in the middle, and you got these two guys on either side of you, Mo and at the moment, I'm just feeling if it does come that way now. Before Firmino was really good with it, but I want someone solid now. You know what I mean? I want something solid.
You know the funny thing is that it's all about the training that way, practicing. You don't have to be the biggest to actually know how to manipulate your body and get in a position where you're going to hold that ball up. Again, then it needs runners off you. So I always, even now, I talk to players and I'm telling them when you're in a certain position, you hold the ball up. Get the winger or the number 10 to come and take the ball off you. And then you spin and go in somewhere else. We don't really work on, but we used to work on that sort of stuff. We used to work on that sort of stuff regularly, even the over spin but we always worked with two up front. Me and Michael, me and Robbie, me and whoever up front.
Yeah, is that because the evolution of the game and the way football is perceived and how to play it now with your Pep Guardiolas and your Jurgen Klopps, that maybe that way of playing isn't seen as the way to do it?
When you look at Pep, they do actually work that, but it's not the actual two up front. They usually have the number 10 or if you look at De Bruyne, how high he plays at times. And then he's actually looking for the striker, but the striker understands where he wants to be, and it's having an understanding. A lot of it's pattern of play. I watched some of their stuff, and I'm like, they've done this already on training, because it looks so simple and effortless for them. They do everything very, very quickly, and this is one of the things that I watch for certain teams, and I look at whether it's off the cuff or it's something they've worked on a regular basis. And I think teams need to work on that a little bit more. And Leicester definitely do, because you see it all the time with them. But he's very relentless in them sort of things that he does, Brendan.
Yeah, I think also we've spoken enough about like the front three and stuff like that. We have to talk about Allison Becker. I mean, he's come into the club. He's been great so far, like up to a point. But for me, like he's run out of credit because he's coming. Listen, I'll let you come back, Paul. I'll let you come back at me.
I can respond to that though.
Man City, yeah. Okay, you have your go. I'm having my go now, yeah. Listen, Man City, he makes a mistake the first time, yeah. Cool, I'll accept that. But then after in the Man City game, he makes the same mistake twice. I don't believe in making the same mistake twice, yeah. Especially not in a high-profile football matches, Liverpool, Man City. That for me is kind of unforgivable, yeah. And then today he comes in and. You've got a new 20-year-old kid in Kabak in the central defence, and he comes out, and the communication must have been non-existent. I mean, how do you end up clattering the kid for that goal to go? How does that happen? Like you're like I'm starting to get upset now. It's getting hot in here. No, it's unforgivable for me for a keeper of his standard, of his level. You know, all that takes today is a simple shout, keeper. We all know Allison plays high. They know Allison plays high. Patterns of play, they know training, they know how we play. So he should have been getting a shout back, because all he would have been thinking is, that ball can't reach. I don't know who was out wide, was it Barnes or whatever. So his debut, he's nervous. He's just trying to stop that ball. It takes a goalkeeper like Allison to calm the nerves and say, it's all right, mate, I got it. And then everything's fine. No, Allison... He's let me down today, man. He's let me down big time. I'm disappointed. Fire away, man. Who wants piece of me first? go on, Sam. Go on, Sam.
Do you know what? I was ready to attack you, but you kind of given a decent case there. He's not run out of credit with me, but the last 2 or 3 games, considering we're missing our whole defence, I expect him to be the guy that really takes the reins and calms things down. And if anything, right now, he's making it even more scary. He's making everyone panic even more. He's ruined the Kabak's debut. He's done him completely. And up until that point, Kabak had done all right, man. He kept it simple and he's done his job. I feel like the crisis of confidence we have as a team is at its highest point with Allison right now. And that's a huge problem. Because we can get away with it in other areas of the pitch. If your strikers aren't taking 1 out of every 6 or 7 chances, they're going to get another chance and they are going to score. When your keeper's making mistakes like that, and we're struggling at the other end as well, we're just going to lose. And I don't know how he gets out of this slump. Someone mentioned in the group that, he needs to double up on the prayer time because, boy,
listen,
he needs to get the Bible. And
listen, I think... wait, hold on.
I can help him,
Listen. No, he needs to book a private jet, sneak out back to the favelas and know what it's like to live in the slums for a couple of days and do some praying and come back, because it's just not happening right. It's not right at the moment. No, listen.
I think for Allison, one thing I would say about Allison, he learnt very quickly. I think it was 2 seasons ago at Leicester. Iheanacho robbed him of the ball. He tried to do the worst Cruyff turn ever. Iheanacho robbed him, he scored. But after that, the ball came back to him several times and he just cleared it. And I thought, you're learning very quickly. But then this time now, is it overconfidence in the sense that I haven't really seen him make too many mistakes, but now we're seeing back-to-back mistakes, trying to play out when you really shouldn't be playing out, making sure you have great contact with the ball when you're actually clearing the ball. Because again, when you're playing against a team like City who press the way that they do, they'll pick your pocket. And then today, this is I don't even know what to say about today, because I fume at I'm fuming with goalkeepers when they make mistakes like this, because again, like you're saying, one call can clear all that up, and you see everything. Now, if I've only got eyes on the ball, but I hear you calling, then I understand where I need to go. But if you're not saying anything and then you're next minute you're clattering into me, and no disrespect, that could be concussion or something because I don't see you coming.
It's true.
So he has to be careful with them when coming out that way.
Yeah, it's just disappointing, and I think Sam, like you said, knowing how fragile we are up front, we need a safe pair of hands at the back, especially with Van Dijk missing, and Alisson's just not provided that in the last couple of games, man. It's just
Slim. It's like it's just like our season rolled into one. It's either an example of our season in one player, like maybe a Tiago, like just unlucky, coming injuries, then slow to the ball, and like, oh, what a season, or what a time to be a new Liverpool player. Now I'm just thinking about what you said about Alisson, about, was it overconfidence? I think maybe he's trying too hard. Maybe he's just thinking, okay, it's with Henderson's new to the back line, or when Phillips was there, Phillips is slow, whatever, and he's coming rushing out, playing the sweeper keeper. And I keep thinking Manuel Neuer. I just keep thinking Manuel, it makes no sense. It makes no sense, and when it makes no sense, it's not easy to find a solution because you're leaving it down to like just what the guy does next. I just hope he just sort of chills now, believes in his centre backs. Even if he did call, I think it'd have been hard for me if I was playing centre back and a goalie called. The ball's still coming to me. I'm thinking, well, where am I going? I'm going to
go down, stop down, hit the deck, roll it, stop, drop and roll.
You're still looking to clear the ball because
he didn't need to be
going
there.
Straight to Kabak. So even if he called for it, he's confused everything.
To be honest with you, that was what I don't think he needed to come where he did, because how it was, even if he calls it. It might have been short anyway. If Kabak gets out of the way, I think that, I don't know, I can't remember what Leicester player it was that was there. It was going to be problems. It was going to be problems in that sense. I think, I'm not defending him, but it's just the amount of changes that we've had there. Now we've seen this Kabak lad. I don't know how this Kabak lad's trained. So I don't know if he's thought about this lad's a bit of a slowpoke. Let me get out here, and you don't know. It's trust in it. I don't know. Like I can only think, what is it? You're not going to do something. Like, can't go from being a keeper that's been like a worldly keeper for 2 seasons to go to just doing these mad mistakes like you're the monk from Meme Machine. It doesn't happen, innit? It don't happen.
Brucey, you just said something about confidence in your teammates. Now, this is like another general thing of just hear me out.
Oh, I know what's coming.
Sorry, Emile. If you want to go make a cup of tea or anything like that, now's the time because Paul's going to talk, and this usually goes on for a while. No, go on, Paul.
Yeah, I'll be quick. This is just a theory, and this is what I hope is not happening, because I'm a big fan of, say, Naby Keita. I'm a big fan of Curtis Jones. There's been times I felt when they've been on the pitch, they've shown for the ball and they haven't received it. A couple of the lads in our WhatsApp group were saying perhaps it's trust. Same with Taki Minamino coming into space. You don't see Taki now. So I'm thinking we've used the same players so often, and I don't think we've used our fringe players enough up to this point. And it's taken a while for our teammates, or the boys, to trust their fringe players. And yeah, that's just a theory I've got. And if you're not trusting your teammates when you walk on a pitch, you're not going to get anywhere.
Emile, did you have anybody? You don't have to name names, obviously, but did you have anybody that the rest of the lads felt that they didn't really want to give the ball to or anything
not
like
really.
that?
No, again, you work with everyone in training, so you know what everyone's capabilities are, and training's high tempo and good. So I never really other clubs, lesser clubs, but when you're at Liverpool, you're at Liverpool for a reason. So everyone should be able to deal with that sort of ball in any particular area.
See, there you go. That nushes your notion, Paul, about mistrusting the team. You know what I mean?
No, I hope not. I just hope not.
I want to talk about Kabak because, like Sam said, his debut was going all right up until to a point. But what I'm wondering is he's only 20 and he doesn't seem to have any pace. At 20, oh my goodness, you can catch me for dust.
Different makeup, man. You can't go. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
But Emile, I'd like to think, these guys, their job is to play football. They go into a top-class facility every single day, not just at Liverpool, even at Schalke for Kabak, and the top scientists and blah blah blah, sports scientists, blah blah blah. Come on, man. Surely the pace is something that can be
even though now I'm coaching and everything, I even look at people and say, well, can we work on this? Can we work on, especially for defenders, can we work on them, the way they turn quickly and go? That is one thing that I see defenders, they turn so slowly now. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Can we work on these sort of...
Well, he had a moment like that. He had a moment like that in the game, Emile, where he turned and I think it was Harvey Barnes, and he just left. He was just treading water.
Yeah, these are sort of things again you've got to work on. And again, when you're in different leagues, are you being attacked at that like that? So your weaknesses aren't being shown out as much, especially when you're at the top clubs. So there will be something that they have to work on. But again, like you're saying, I always look at that. So like you're saying, at 20, me at 20 is totally different to me at 35. Like, do you know what I mean? Me at 20, I would think that anyone, I could turn with anyone and catch them and leave them.
And that's the thing, yeah. He's obviously a tall lad, Kabak, but you're a prime example. You're a tall man yourself, Emile, and your pace was frightening. And I think it's even more frightening when you see a big lad who's like 6 foot or whatever, and he's got pace as well. You're thinking, hold on a minute here, where's this come from? But I think, yeah, the defenders at such a young age, you shouldn't be so slow. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're Per Mertesacker, then you can be as slow as you like. But yeah, no, I think they definitely need to look at the boy and get him working on those turns. But anyway, game today on the whole, disappointing, I think. Given the events of the week, what transpired with Jurgen Klopp and his mum and stuff, you would have thought the boys would have given a bigger performance. Obviously it wasn't meant to be. I think we go next again in the Champions League against Leipzig, and I'm worried for that game because Leipzig are a good outfit, very good outfit, and they must have been watching that game today and rubbing their hands together, man. I dread to think what's going to happen in that game, Sam.
I'm not even
can't move on yet.
I can't even engage. You know what? Actually, to be fair, in the same way that when we played United a few weeks ago in the FA Cup, we saw it as a free hit because we weren't really pushing hard for the FA Cup. I feel like this is the first leg. It might get us back on track. We don't have to think about the league. And it might just give us a little bit of a push if we can get a win. Yeah, and start focusing on Champions League again. So, do you know, it can't get much worse, can it? So, and it's one game.
Well, it can. We could end up where Arsenal are. Do you know what I mean? And then it would be bad. Huh?
I think we're allowed to mention Arsenal on this podcast. Come on.
Listen, shouts out to White Yardie, who seems to be in love with Anfield South at the minute, tweeting us every 5 seconds, but we'll deal with him another time. For me, more importantly, what worries me more than the Champions League game is the game after that, the Merseyside derby. I mean, Emile, you would have played in a number of derbies yourself.
I was lucky they were rubbish at the time, so.
This side does seem to be a little bit more organised under Ancelotti, and give them their props. They're a decent side, and what was the result where they were down against Manchester United and they came back and they drew? So they've got a never die attitude, and I just feel like the way we are right now, it could be open season if we don't buck our ideas up, man.
Look, I think again, when you're going into a derby, it's totally different mindset. It's totally different everything, because again, it's bragging rights. It's you know that you're going to be in for a big game, regardless of where they are, where you are. So if they can't get up for this game, they shouldn't be playing. But I think the lads, I do think I think they will be up for this game, and they understand the importance of this game, especially trying to. And the major thing now is trying to stay in the top 4, isn't it? So it's going to be huge. Probably one of the biggest games that they've played for a long time.
Definitely. Brazen Bruce, how do you see that Merseyside derby going, man?
Like, we all know, like, you can go into that game with form, and form goes out the window, to be honest, because for obvious reasons. But I'm just hoping, that the boys at least go into that game and think to themselves, right, we've got to right the wrongs of what's been happening and get a kick hold of this of our season now, man. We got to, man. We're still in control of what we need to do. If we win our games, everyone around us will drop points. So It's that simple. I think we can get a win out of that game. There's no doubt in my mind we can get a win out of it. I think Klopp's got to be brave though. That's what I think. He's got to be brave with some of the decisions he makes on who plays. That's what I say.
Fair enough. Does Henderson come back into midfield for that game for you, Paul?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, where's Davis? I had this feeling that we just wouldn't see him. I just had that feeling. Where is he? Do you know what I mean? If he's not there, Firmino's not in, and it's not back, then Henderson will not come out of the centre back position. He will not come out. He will stay in there, and because we've probably got more midfield talent, that makes sense. I would, but look, obviously in a perfect world, I'd love to have him back. But I see him starting there. I'm not sure what's up with Firmino. On the positive, most of our analysing the stuff is kind of like we're not scoring goals, blah blah blah. But in terms of losing games, we are making a lot of mistakes. If we could just switch on and stay concentrated for the 90 minutes, then we do actually win. Do you know what I mean? We're making a lot of mistakes. If we can switch these mistakes off, then I'm confident. I'll be confident.
Fair enough. I just want to. We talk a lot about Liverpool. I just want to give Leicester a shout because they were there at the game as well. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to ask you, Emile, how well is Brendan Rodgers doing with this? No,
he's done fantastic. To take them from where they were to where they are now, and just even in just the way they play, the way they set up the 4-2, 4-2-3-1. He changes to a 3-4-3 sometimes. He has this knack, especially in the big games, where he gives up possession, knowing that he's got Harvey Barnes, Vardy, and it was all Brighton, but they have other players that can come in and really attack very quickly, and he sometimes gives up that possession to actually hit teams on the counter attack. Did it at Arsenal, Man City. And now playing against Liverpool, done it again, and he's very clever in the way that he does it. The only thing I worry at times is when you actually do have teams that play and they want to give up possession to you, do you have enough to break them down? And there's been an over dependent on Harvey Barnes, who's been fantastic, but if you nullify him, where's the next threat? That's the only thing. Maddison's great because again he gets on the ball and creates stuff, and he's so confident, he wants to be on the ball, and he's just done brilliant. He's just done wonders at Leicester. The only thing I'm worried about now is he possibly needs to start replacing a few players, because when you're looking at Johnny Evans, who's of a certain age, Vardy's 34 now, 35 next birthday. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Mark Albrighton's 31, 32. So he needs to start to really start. Iheanacho's coming, but again, it just gives you something different to what they're so used to having Vardy up front.
Yeah, that pace is hard to replace once you lose out front. It's a whole different ball game. Do you think, Emile, that they're overachieving Leicester at the moment as to where they are?
I think they deserve to be where they are, but again, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the season they'd be chasing top 4, I would have said probably not. Top 8 would have been I'd have been happy with. But right now you'll be disappointed if they don't get top 4. But again, you got to remember that turn of the new year last season, they were chasing the actual league.
Yeah, they were second. Yeah. They were in with a shout, and I think that's what we accuse Brendan Rodgers of. Well, I'm not going to say we. I'm going to say the rest of them accuse Brendan Rodgers of choking. I like Brendan Rodgers, just for the record, but yeah,
me too.
But yeah, a lot of the guys that
I'm one of them.
They accuse Brendan of
but
choking.
Again, it's the know-how, isn't it? If you've not been in that position before, how do you know how to see it over the line? And even with Liverpool now and this team that we're talking about, they're fantastic for the last 2 seasons, got it over the line. But then you need another mindset to actually get the back-to-back. They haven't had that, and this is something I spoke to Rio about and players like that who have done the back-to-back. He said, you just got to be relentless. You've got to think, live and breathe football, and knowing that you're going to be in the game 24/7.
Talking about getting it over the line, you obviously won many cups in your time: UEFA Cup, Super Cup, FA Cup, League Cup, but you never quite got your hands on the Premier League trophy. What do you think you were missing in
the
your
consistency.
team to get you
The
guys
consistency
over the line?
to have it over the period of the season. We'll go and beat Man United. We'll go and beat Arsenal. We'll give Chelsea a good game, but then we'll go and lose to Ipswich. And these are the ones you can't because again, even for the last 2 seasons, when you're looking at Liverpool, they might not be having the best of games, but they'll make sure they get a draw or a win in that game, regardless of how they're playing. They know how to see it over the line. We just didn't have that.
Fair enough. Obviously, Emile, as you can imagine, once we told the boys you were coming on, it was like there was a few fangirl moments and there was a few questions flying in for you. So I'll come to you, Paul. Have you got a question you wanna ask Emile before we wrap it up?
Emile, obviously, God bless Gerard Houllier. I think he brought you on, obviously, and you were a big hero to us when you came, when you joined the club. Do you know what I mean? Like an actual English black man getting paid, for a high fee. Like you were an inspiration to us. But going onto tactics, you were put onto the right wing at one stage in a 4-4-2, but you were still pretty effective. Do you think you could have even done a better job in today's game in a 4-3-3?
Yes, tactically I was, and this is a thing that a lot of people don't really give me recognition for. I played left wing back at Leicester. I played left back. I played left wing and right wing and centre forward. But again, my mind was watch who's the best at that and try and mimic what they're doing. Get some advice from people behind you, because the best thing about that is getting the advice from people behind you. No, tuck in here. Okay, cool. And then no, you got to be back in it. So they're always pulling you all over the place, but you're getting a better understanding of it. Now saying in this formation, 100%, because as a forward, I'm actually thinking about my runs as well. Whereas a lot of the wingers just stay out wide and they want to get on the ball and take people on. Yeah, I could do that, but I'm thinking about my runs in between as well. When it's on the other side and it's coming across, can I make a run in between the say for argument's sake, the left back and the left centre back? Can I make my dart a run in there between there to try and get a crossing or try and get a shot off? I'm always thinking about these sort of things, and then this is something only really the ones at the top I see Sterling does it for fun. But they don't.
We found out last week, didn't we?
Fun. But you don't really see that. So I'm always thinking of that side of things. So yeah, I think I would have been fine in them formations as well.
Bajan Bruce, you got a question for Emile?
Yeah, you know what? It's how was it in that game? That game when you played for England against Germany.
Do you know what? It was great. Sven was brilliant. Again, another tactician like Gerard, who when you went into a game, you knew everything. So you had a certain tactic, you stick to that, and you go and win the game. And our tactic was more pretty similar to what we were doing at Liverpool, where we were hitting on the break. Me and Michael had our thing going, and it was crazy that we went 1-0 down, and it's Sven's first competitive game. They've lost. They haven't lost in a competitive home match in 50 plus games, and they beat us at the last game at the old Wembley as well. Then we go 1-0 down after 7 minutes, so it was backs against the wall. But now we were good young team at that time, so we scored goals at critical times as well, and everyone will say this. We went in at half time 2-1 up. We just scored before half time, and that just puts a little dent in their sail when they go in and they were 1-0 up, and then suddenly they're going in to sit down and they're 2-1 down, and then when they come back out they're 3-1 down, and it just it's just we scored at critical times to just really put the pressure on them, and then to get the fifth one as well was amazing.
Yeah.
Emile, as Liverpool supporters, we just wanted to score so badly because Gerard didn't know when he scored by then, and when he scored, I was going mad.
Thank you.
Good times, man. Good times. Engineer Sam, yourself.
Do you know what? I'm going to be cheeky and try and pose two questions. First is best player you've played against.
Best player I played against, as in the toughest defender, you mean? Or just the best in general? You got to go R9, innit?
Wow. That's my guy, bro.
You got to go R9.
You could
The
tell.
real nine.
Yeah,
2000
they had
2002 World Cup.
they had Rivaldo,
Finals.
Ronaldo, Ronaldinho up front. So they had 3 Ballon d'Ors up.
Wow.
Yeah. They had 3 Ballon d'Ors up
We were
front.
doing alright that game.
Plus they had Kaká on the bench, another Ballon d'Or.
Problem.
Wow.
Problem.
You could tell the age of the room because we're all like, yeah, Ronaldo. It's crazy. Don't let the baby faces fool you, man. Seriously. Oh man.
No, just quickly, the other one was if you could take any 3 players from this current Liverpool squad and add it to your team that you played in, the best team.
I would say the front 3. It's got to be the front 3, isn't it? Because again, defensively, I think we were a lot more solid. You knew what we had. I think the front 3 now, attacking wise, would just take you to another level. Don't get me wrong. I think we got 2 Mo's, by the way. Michael Owen. I think he would add something different to the central forward, but I don't know if he could play up front on his own. That's the only problem I have. But I think when you have Mane and that was probably one thing that we possibly didn't get was the actual wingers right, because we bought Bernard Diamed to be one of the wingers at one stage, and he was doing really well for France, etc. And it didn't quite work out. We ended up buying Juve and putting him on the wing. I played on the wing, but we never really had out and out wingers. When if you had Mo Salah and Mane on the wing, and then Michael in the middle, and then I could add to.
We were always quite narrow, weren't we? I mean,
yeah,
we always had Murphy,
but again, he's
who was
yeah.
wide,
They're not,
maybe
you got to remember the central midfielders. Berger's more of a 8 or a 10.
Yeah.
So we never really had that width. But if you have that width, I would add them.
Perfect, man. I love that, man. Listen, I wanna. Before I wrap it up, just talk about something on a more of a serious note, Emile. I mean, you played at a time in football where racism was probably a little bit more rife than... Well, I don't even want to say more rife than as it is now, because I feel like the errors are both the same. It's still here, so it's still a problem. So I just wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on social media, like such as Instagram and Twitter, and should they be doing more to help with the racial abuse that the players... suffering at the moment?
100%, and they know it. Again, they haven't sat down with the right people to actually. So if they sat down with you, me, all of us on this group, and we actually explain to them what we're going through, I think they'd understand it a lot more. I think there'd be a bit more empathy about it, because again, a lot of the time is a lot of people say, "Well, why don't you just come off it? Why should I? Why should I?"
Yeah, it's actually your choice. You want to enjoy the platform.
So if you do anything wrong on anything else, they can prosecute you. But we don't take racism seriously. One thing I would ask is, why can't us as sports people create our own platform where we hold everyone accountable?
100%. I had the exact same thoughts the other day. I felt like all of these influential people, if they removed themselves from that platform and took themselves to another platform, that platform would sink. Why are we not doing that? Why are we not moving to something that's built by us, for us, where we can...
Yeah, I think it would be better, because again, then you know you'd set up things where in a way that you hold people accountable. And we're talking about young kids doing it. We're talking about adults doing it. We're talking about everyone doing it. So once you start owning that platform and you because again, the only reason they're on the platform is because of the sports stars, because of the influence, because of these people that they want to follow. It's not for the platform itself. It's for the people who are actually on the platform. So if they don't want to do it in the sense of really govern it properly, then come off it and we'll create something that we know will be governed properly and people will act accordingly.
Amen. I think that is the perfect way to wrap up this podcast. Emile, listen, it's been
Thank you.
an absolute
Thank you
pleasure
for having
having you on, man.
It's been a while.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Yes. Hey, people, make sure you like, share, subscribe the heck out of this episode. Make sure you hit the bell for the notifications so we can come to you. You know our socials, they'll be going across the bottom. Make sure you follow and do all that good stuff. I've been your boy Slim, as always. Bajan Bruce, pleasure, my brother.
Bajan Bruce in the building, I see him by now.
Professor Paul,
Same, yeah, Emile, thank you, man. You gave us so much
thank you.
joy. You gave us lots of joy, man. You're a legend.
And Engineer Sam, even though I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my Saturday, your work's not done. Make sure you get the pod out all nice.
Thank you so much for doing this, Emile. I'm really going to enjoy editing this episode. Gonna get
Thank you for having me.
So thank you again.
Just one last thing, Emile. When we hang up, when we finish, just wait there so we can upload your video. But until the next time, guys,